The shit is that noise? A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball. Kumamoto and Aichi are locked in a fierce struggle for the playoffs. Just then, the clack-clack of the sewing machine in the lounge suddenly stops. Oh, that's what that was. It was Mayuri sewing. Oh, come in! Can you come here? She motions to me while holding the costume. What does she want? I walk over to her. I know what I want. Some fucking water right about now. Can you hold this for me? Spread it out like whoop. Mayushi, say whap again. Whap? I got a whap. Stop it already, perv. I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. Sorry, I'm trying to drink to hopefully recover my voice. I need to speak to the family tomorrow. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve. She inspects it from a few paces away. It's hard to believe given her usual ditziness, but Mayuri is very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costume so highly. The costume I'm holding right now is a custom made for Lukako. I thought Lukako was against it, but I guess Mayuri managed to persuade her. Okay, thanks! Mayuri looks tired. She's been working all night. That doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile. Finished! It's done? Yep! I finished before Christian! You were racing! You win, Mayuri. Congratulations. Damn you, assistant! She treats me and Dara like garbage, but Mayuri gets the sisterly touch. Actually, I'm just about finished too. Kurisu connects the two cords she's holding. Done. Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers. It's a tie. Man, I'm tired. I want Faristan to comfort me. Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either. And it's not because I'm tired. We worked all around the clock for 3 straight days up until finishing the time leap machine. But now that it's complete, I realize that part of me never truly believed it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Kurisu. She too seems less than enthused. We may have created a monster here. I look at the improved phone wave, named set it to change again. The biggest change is that the headgear is attached to the X68000. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Fortunately, we don't need nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. You just put it on and let the sensors do the rest. Why don't we decide on what to call it first? I vote Heavenly Express! Phonewave 3rd edition version 1.0. Silly hat Phonewave-chan! No consensus. You guys have too much free time. Does that mean you're abstaining from the vote? Time leap machine? That's terrible. Come on! Simple is best, right? I mean, that's what Okabe's been calling it for the past 2 days. Looks like my assistant has zero naming sense. I don't want to hear that from a Chunibyo headcase like you. Oh-ho. So Makase knows the word Chunibyo. I sense your otaku level is quite high. I heard it from a friend. I have no idea where it comes from. Ha! A bald-faced lie. She should just confess to being an at-channeler. Kurisu meets my grin with an icy glare. It's up to you, Mayuri. Choose one. When the lab is divided on a name, the right to decide belongs to Mayuri. I think Time Leak Machine is fine.
Silly phone wave chat is super close though.
Somehow I knew she'd say that.
Like I said, simple is best. Mayuri gets it.
I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mayuri's made a decision. Very well. Time leap machine it is. Assistant, explain for us all how the time leap machine works. Now I know the basics, so I want to hear the details. Kurisu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard.
In short, this device converts memories to data and sends them to the past. Let's begin with what we all know. By freak coincidence, the phone wave is able to produce ring singularities, much like John Titor's time machine. With the ring singularity, we're able to send up to 36 bytes of data to the past. The signal can only be retrieved by phones. While that does limit the range of the effect, it also removes an element of uncertainty from the equation. Unlike D-mails, memory data is sent in the form of a phone call, so we'll be using a phone number, not an email address to send the destination. The ring singularity is made naked and stable by a device known as a lifter. In our case, that's the 42-inch CRT downstairs.
She explained the basics. Next, she'll explain the modifications she made to turn the phone wave names to change into a time leap machine. Okay, whatever.
The phone wave now has a headgear attached. This headgear records the nerve impulses into the temporal all over the brain, specifically the CA3 region of the hippocampus where memories are stored. Then, using VR technology, we encode the nerve impulses into electrical signal data.
It comes out to approximately 3.24 terabytes. 3.24 terabytes? It's less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories.
By the way, we'll set it up so that the data decodes automatically after a certain amount of time. Anybody well-versed in programming can do this. I had Hashida make the code. Anyway, next we send the memory data through the net to the LHC in France.
This building has a direct line to CERN for some reason, so we can transfer data insanely at insanely high speeds. How long does it take to send 3.24 terabytes of data? We have 64 direct lines in parallel, so if we send it in 64 parts, it should upload in about 45 seconds. That's pretty fast.
Next, we hijack the LHC, create a mini black hole, and use the black hole supergravity to compress the data into 36 bytes.
3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes. That's one hell of a squeeze. Will the compression take long? It's practically instantaneous. 23 milliseconds or thereabouts. We're using a black hole after all.
By the way, the compression only holds in the intermediate vicinity of the black hole. Once the data leaves that area, it will begin to decompress on its own. This too takes 23 milliseconds.
It has to make it back to the X68000 and into the phone wave within that window. It's only 36 bytes. It shouldn't be a problem. Continue, Christina.
With the data being compressed, we can use the phone wave to generate the Kerr ring singularity. When the electron discharge phenomenon occurs, we take the 36 byte data, patch it in, and send it to the past. This part is just like a D-mail. The data travels to a specific time where it arrives at the recipient's phone. By now, 23 milliseconds should have passed, so the data will be fully decompressed. Next, the decoding program runs, converting the data back into nerve impulse signals. The signals are discharged from a phone, from the phone's earpiece at approximately 0.02 amperes, a pretty weak charge. The recipient has the phone to his ear, and it should go straight into his brain.
Assuming he answers his phone.
If he doesn't, the transfer fails. Fortunately, we lose nothing but the copy of their memory data.
Why a phone call instead of an email?
Because we need the recipient to put the phone to read their ear. Otherwise, the signals won't reach his temporal lobe.
She indicates the side of her head.
In this area, you have the frontal lobe and the temporal lobe of the brain. As I explained before, the hippocampus, where memories are stored, is inside the temporal lobe. The phone sends out electrical impulses that pass through the
Why am I so tired?
The phone sends out electrical impulses that pass through the temporal lobe but into the hippocampus, overwriting the recipient's memories. At the same time, the phone wave sends impulses that stimulate the frontal lobe as well. This is important. Remember that frontal lobe is responsible for sending retrieval signals to the temporal lobe. This is how you remember things. By stimulating the frontal lobe, we can force it to send retrieval signals keyed through the new memory data. Thus, the recipient recalls all the memories as if they were his own, which of course they are, or will be in the future. This happens in less than a second. Now the recipient has the same memories as the sender. The time leap is complete. If the data came from 1 week to the future, the recipient will remember that week as if he experienced The recipient will remember that week as if he experienced it firsthand. We need to be aware that consciousness and personality aren't transferred. Both of those things depend on the recipient.
Explain it with boobs. Boobs? Kurisu dissolves into a blushing, stammering mess. Looks like it's up to me to answer Daru's question. Not with boobs, obviously. Let's say we send your memories to you in grade school. Right now, you're some kind of omnisexual pervert that thinks inanimate objects are hot. But in elementary school, you were still an innocent child. I was born a little bastard who did nothing but study. What of it? Basically, that little bastard would suddenly have all your perverted memories, but his personality wouldn't change. It's not like they become a famous anime detective with the looks of a child and the brains of the adult. Oh. Conan? Detective Conan? I think that's the one he's referencing. Don't know, never seen it. What? No, that sucks. This isn't like the time leaping you've seen in sci-fi novels. We aren't yet capable of transferring personality and consciousness. Ahem!
Since you need a phone to receive the signal, you can only send memories to the times you had one. We also need to make sure that the sender and recipient are the same person. If someone besides your past self, your parents or friend for instance, answers the phone, then the nerve impulse signals will be projected into their brain instead. If that happens, your memories could overwrite theirs, which could obviously cause serious damage to their psyche.
Kurisu ends her explanation with a short breath. The lab falls into silence. I exchange glances with Kurisu and Daru. I look at Mayuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her. So, I clear my throat. It's time for the $1 million question. What do we do with it? Do with what? The time leap machine, of course. What do we do with it? For once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know she fears we've created a monster. Honestly, I feel the same way. After a few moments, Kurisu finally speaks.
It's too much for us to handle, that's for sure. The safest thing would be to hand it over to the government for professional research.
I can tell that she's not pleased to have reached this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment with this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. We've finally taken our steps towards godhood. I'm sure that the nations of the world would pay billions just for one look at our time machine. The possibilities that it represents are limitless. It just doesn't feel real. Mayushi doesn't get it. That's because she didn't work on it, Mayushi. Oh, right.
What about
you, Okabe? And I mean you, not Hyo and Kyomo. I agree with Kurisu that the time leap machine is dangerous. On the other hand, I want to experiment. I state my honest feelings. Kurisu gasps. But there are still questions we need to answer. This is unknown territory. Not just for us, but for all of humanity. Who will time leap? I look at each of the lab mems in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayushi's expression is blank. Kurisu stares right back at me. It's hard to choose. I'll pass. Huh? Not a single person here wants the honor of being history's first time traveler. Everyone, except for Mayuri, is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap were to fail? It's not like CERN's time machine. The possibility of becoming a jelly man is zero. This time machine sends data, not the real thing. Don't let your preconceptions influence your decision. You might say it's like a cut and paste of your brain. Actually, it's more like a copy-paste. And it's just your memories. The original doesn't get erased. It's very easy to understand. That's a very easy to understand example. But that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past to present to future. At least that's how most humans see it. This raises several questions. What if there's an error somewhere and the data itself gets fractalized? Let's say my memories end up... I send my memories an hour into the past. My memories would be replaced by fractalized data. In other words, data full of tiny holes. Could that cause memory loss? I suppose. 1 hour later, when we arrived again at the present. At that time, the me who lost his memories an hour ago and the current me conflict in my brain. Which data set survives? Logically, the present you should change as soon as you send your memories to the past. The conflicting current me disappears then. So then it's not a copy-paste at all, is it? I don't know. No one's ever done time travel experiments before. When we send a D-mail, the world is reconstructed based on the change we made to the past. I'm the only one who's aware of this, however. I don't know what happens when you time leap. If it's the many worlds interpretation like Taita said, then the instant you time leap, it creates two possibilities. One where you shift back to another world line, and one where you travel back in time on the same world line. Of course, there must also be a world line where the current you doesn't disappear. And would likely correspond to the present that we are experiencing now. But that's only if the many worlds interpretation holds in the first place. I thought you didn't believe what Taita said. I'm talking hypothetically. Taita doesn't matter right now. If it's the Copenhagen interpretation, then every possible state propagates through space as a wave function. When a particular state is observed, the remaining states collapse and that state is fixed. But precise observation is impossible. The problem is who the observer is in this case. Wouldn't it be like a third party, like me or Mayushi? Not necessarily. It might be me. It might be someone else. Could even be God. To begin with, the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds interpretation are both microscale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or the world at large. What about my personal experiences with reading Steiner? If reading Steiner is the sort of power I think it is, then the world line model is correct. In the end, we arrive at the question of where is the self?
This time leap machine only sends memories. That I guarantee.
Won't the present be reconstructed at the moment of transfer? Then what happens to Okarin's reading Steiner, right? That makes sense when we send D-mails are concerned. When we send a D-mail, we're obviously interfering with past events. But time leaping is different. All you do is send your memories to the past, which isn't the same as sending a targeted email. Whether the me who suddenly remembers 1 hour into the future will in fact change the past is something we can't know until it happens. I'm getting confused. It sounds like we're talking about the soul. Isn't that a religious question?
Wait, you guys are misunderstanding something. 1 hour is enough for you, your personality to change. You should be the same person 1 hour ago that you are now. The only difference is that you'll have an extra hour's worth of memories.
How can you be sure?
Well, I can't. No one's ever tried it before.
This discussion's going nowhere. Personality and consciousness can't strictly be defined, so it's hard to imagine what might happen.
So, which is it? We don't know. We can only argue the theories all we want, but in the end, we can only guess. This experiment may end up shattering preconceptions scientists and philosophers have held for centuries.
We won't know until we try. Pretty much sums it up. To make matters worse, the subject must be prepared to risk damage to their psyche. Kurisu, Daru, and I say no more. We can't solve this problem. This is our limit as scientists. But haven't we accomplished enough already? The time leap machine itself is worthy of a Nobel Prize. We could sell this technology for billions if we so choose. If we go public with a time leap machine, we can break in CERN's monopoly on time travel technology. That's enough. It has to be.
Hey!
Mayuri, who has been observing the discussion with glassy eyes, opens her mouth to speak.
I have an idea. Why don't we make a banana time leap instead? Oh, Mayuri. Bananas don't have brains like people do. Oh! You need a brain, huh?
Mayuri never changes. The atmosphere in the room gets a little more relaxed. Let's not experiment. We'll entrust the time leap machine to a suitable research institution. Then we'll announce it to the world. Thanks to the lightening of the mood, I can finally say what was on my mind. Neither Kurisu nor Daru objects. No one has touched the time leap machine since that discussion. Ridiculous as it sounds, I can't shake the feeling that it might suck my memories out and fling them into the past. Oh, the time machine does have its appeal, of course. We're all tempted by the idea of becoming humanity's first time leapers. Yet the fear of what could happen has won out in the end. Perhaps as a way to forget our fears and move on, we decide to hold a celebration to mark the completion of the device. Everyone feels like they need to let loose after working so hard on the project. I have Daru order pizza while Kurisu and I go shopping for snacks. Akabara has a lack of supermarkets. That hasn't changed even when the anime store's gone. After we finish shopping, Kurisu and I walk along the evening streets. She looks like she's got something to say. She keeps stealing glances at me. Are you upset?
Upset?
She frowns like she didn't expect that question. Finally, she faces this way. About our decision not to attempt a time leap experiment.
No, I'm not upset. Humans are temporal beings. That's a Heidegger quote. I was actually relieved when you made the decision not to use the time machine. If you hadn't been there, I might not have been able to stop myself. Thank you.
What's this? Gratitude? Does she have a fever? I put my hand to her forehead and check. Kurisu twitches.
What are you doing?
You're talking like an assistant for a change. I thought you might have a fever. I dropped my hand.
I'm not grateful to you or anything, okay?
Classic tsundere. Almost fucking textbook at this point. My voice is louder than it should be, and several people glance at us. Kurisu blushes and hangs her head. If Daru were here, he'd probably get all excited and say, "A real tsundere, sweet."
Anyway.
Kurisu clears her throat and returns to her usual sour expression.
That thank you was just a formality. Don't get me wrong, okay?
Of course. I only did what I had to. I'm the founder of the Future Gadget Lab, Hyo and Kyoma. My first priority is to protect the welfare of my lab mems. So I have no need for your thanks.
And yet you always talk about plunging the world into chaos.
You're my allies. The world is my enemy.
I'm speechless. You're too self-righteous.
You say speechless, and yet you're speaking.
Don't argue semantics.
It's quite mysterious, really. It's only been 2 weeks since Kurisu and I met. And yet it already feels natural for us to be walking together, exchanging banter like this. Perhaps pooling our efforts to create something new, dangerous though it may be, has brought us closer together. I admit that her knowledge and skills are impressive. I'd like her to remain at the lab if at all possible, but she already said she's going back to America this month. It's already the 13th, so I wonder when she plans to return.
Don't forget what Titer said.
What did Titer say? This stuff about crossing the world line? Or... okay. I mean, I've kind of pieced it together that she's John Titer at this point, but... I decide to ask her.
Oh yeah, I forgot to get a plane ticket. I got totally caught up in improving the phone wave.
Going public with the time leap machine will send the world into an uproar. We also plan to expose CERN, remember? You may not be able to go back to America for some time.
I guess you're right. I should call Mama and let her know.
Looks like things are going to get busy. Naturally, I want Kurisu to stay with us to the end. A little bit after we return to the lab, Mayuri gets back.
I'm back!
Seems Mayuri went to Lukako's. Suzuha shows up a few minutes later, and our development council comes to an order. Dara ordered 3 pizzas. We also line up all the snacks we bought on the table. It's just like the party we had a few days ago to cheer up Suzuha. Mayuri wanted to decorate the room, but since everyone's tired, I dismissed it as unnecessary. Looks like Suzuha managed to retrieve her jacket from Mr. Braun.
Man, that was terrible! I was stuck looking like an exhibitionist all day.
The Braun Tube workshop's closed. Suzuha made sure that the 42-inch CRT was turned off, so there was no need to fear for any malfunction from the time leak machine. A heavy sigh escapes my throat. I realized that I'd been tense and nervous since the time leak machine was completed. Now I can finally relax. The topic of the time leap machine has become taboo. Even Kurisu doesn't bring it up during the meeting. Daru, why did you order the exact same pizza as before? I opened the pizza box to find the exact same ones he got for Suzuha's party. Because I like it. Naturally, I'm not amused.
Ocarine! I got Ferris-chan and Luka-chan, but they said they couldn't come.
Oh, do they have plans?
Ferris-chan is a Rhineck tournament.
Crap, I knew I should have gone to cheer. How careless of me.
And Luka-chan seemed embarrassed for some reason. Maybe she thinks she'll make her wear a costume again.
You still haven't convinced her to cosplay? Then what was the point of completing the costume?
She just said it was embarrassing. I kept telling her cuteness is justice, but she never listens. Cuteness is justice. Is that what they say? You too, Chris-chan.
Krista doesn't even know how to react. She blushes and Mayuri starts teasing her like a drunk old man. There's no alcohol at this party, of course. Which is like the complete opposite of my room right now. I have a bottle of Captain Morgan's at hand just in case I need to, I don't know, black out in an emergency.
Hey, Kamima's coming up. You wanna go? I can't make something new, but I have a costume of post-awakening Sarah from Platoon I made last year. I think the size is just about right for Chris-chan, too. Me? Cosplay?
Kurisu looks conflicted, and then she murmurs,
I'm sort of interested.
she sure could have fooled us before, pretending to have no interest in the otaku culture.
But I refuse to do it in public, though. You don't have to show anyone, but eventually you'll want them to see. The cosplay demon compels you!
The cosplay demon?
That reminds me, Chris-chan, you're always wearing that cute uniform. What school is it from? Oh, this?
Kurisu lifts up her necktie.
I attended Ayame for about 2 weeks. I molded this outfit after their uniform. Oh! The uniform is really cute, but you made it even cuter! You might have a real good sense of design! I'll bring the costume tomorrow, okay? Will you try it on then? Sure.
Looks like Kurisu approves of this cuteness is justice philosophy. When's the photo shoot?
Good to know you're still a pervert, Hashida.
Come on, it's Platoon Sarah! She's got Panmoro going on.
Panmoro?
It means her panties are completely exposed.
No way. It's okay. You might not know this, but last year there was a really popular saying. They're not panties, so it's not embarrassing. It's plenty embarrassing, trust me. Wear it, okay? It's a promise. Maybe you shouldn't bother.
Suzuha speaks, her tone sharp. She's scowling at Kurisu again. Are we about to have a fucking fight? Suddenly oh god, we are!
You're asking for trouble by trusting Makase Kurisu. What's that supposed to mean?
Naturally, my strong-willed assistant doesn't want to back down from a fight. Also, this artwork. I love it, even though I'm terrified of what's about to happen right now. Sparks fly between the two girls.
I've been meaning to ask. Did I do something to you? Not to me, but I know everything you've done. What do you mean? I've done nothing to be guilty of. Perhaps, but I know your true nature. Wow, you can see into my heart? That's groundbreaking technology. I'd love to hear how it works. It's not science, it's a prediction. So you're just making it up. I know.
Uh-oh, we've got a situation here. Ocarina! Mayuri clings to me with teary eyes.
Stop them from fighting.
This looks like a job for the one and only Shoin Kyoma! I insert myself between the two girls. Break it up, you two! I, Hyoin Kyoma, shall decide this dispute. They both glare at me. Although I'm afraid for my life, I harden my resolve. The mission must succeed. First, I focus on Kurisu. Assistant! I didn't raise you this way.
You didn't raise me at all.
If you want to become a true mad scientist, you must learn to keep your emotions in check, even as you cackle your way to victory.
Nobody asked you, and I'm already a scientist.
Next, I switch focus to Suzuha. Warrior! Your enemy is certain, remember? You must conserve your strength for Ragnarok.
I warned you before, Okabe Rentaro. Like I said, Kurisu is a threat.
What? You're going to mention that here? Now?
Oh? What's this about, Okabe?
Their eyes are like laser beams boring into my skull. I want nothing more than to flee for my life. But Mayuri's watching me anxiously. I need to defuse the situation. Looks like neither of you is willing to back down. So be it. Fight to your heart's content. Fight until there is no more fight to be had. Then shake a manly handshake by the river and let friendship blossom. But in the future, when it comes time for you to venture out into the real world, I hope you remember one thing. Nobody likes a mood killer!
Shut up!
Getting yelled at by both of them at the same time sends shivers down my spine. It's coming. I quickly seize my right arm. Ugh. Why now of all times? Calm down, right arm of mine! I turn around and head back to Mayuri. I'm sorry, Mayuri. At this rate... Okay, I'm starting to notice more and more typos as I go on, but I'll gloss over all of this. At this rate, I'll end up hurting those two. I have no choice. The rest is up to you.
Jeez.
Mayuri puffs her cheeks out and goes over to the two girls.
Guys? She doesn't like it when you fight. Let's all get along, okay?
Hearing this, the two combatants reluctantly comply even. I expected this would happen. Mayuri is the oil that keeps the gears of this lab churning along. The throbbing in my right arm dissipates. Dara comes over to chat with Suzuha, and gradually peace returns to the lab. Kurisu is in the development room making a call, probably to her mother in America. I sit on the sofa and watch TV while sipping Dr. P. The TV is running a game show where contestants guess the price of popular items at high-class restaurants. Mayuri sits down next to me. She peels a banana and begins eating it.
Hey, Ocarina!
Mayuri slowly looks around the lab, smiling all the while.
It's been really lively these past few weeks, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, I guess it has. I established the Future Gadget Laboratory around the time I entered college. It was the first step in my plan to bring the world to chaos. That was right around the middle of March this year, which means it's been almost 5 months. Not half a month after it was established, Mayuri showed up. I'm still not sure why, and became a lab mem. For about a month, it was just me and Mayuri. Then, in early May, I finally got Daru to join. All it took was telling him that the lab is just a 3-minute walk from May Queen plus Nyan Nyan. This location on the outskirts of Akiba has always been quiet. Mayuri isn't the type to object to every little thing like Kurisu, nor the type to make dumb jokes like Daru, so the lab was very peaceful back in those days. It was quite a pleasant place to be. And now the lab mem count has increased to 8. It happened in the blink of an eye, or so it seems. They didn't come today, but Lukiko visits occasionally, and Faris is a familiar face at May Queen plus Nyan squared. Or at least she was before May Queen disappeared. I remember feeling out of place the first time I came to Akiba, but now it's like a second home. It's fun! Mayuri, too, seems pleased by the increase in lab mems.
Now that there are 8 lab mems, Mayushi thinks it's getting a little cramped in here. First, we don't have enough chairs.
The sofa only has room for 2. And there's Daru's personal desk chair. Those are the only chairs in the lounge. There are some pipe chairs in the development room, but they need to stay there.
We should buy more. Do you have any money, Okarin?
New chairs will take up all my savings. Then I'd need to get a part-time job again.
I guess you can use some of my salary. We need a new microwave too. Otherwise I can't warm my juicy chicken #1.
Yeah, sorry about that. Cutting off Mayuri's chicken supply might actually kill her. But Mayuri, when we turn over the time leap machine, the reward money will solve all our problems.
Will it be enough to pay for chairs and a microwave on the top of a higher rent?
It'll be enough. More than enough.
Oh, that's so great, Okarin.
Why are you so happy?
Just look, we make so many friends. There's Daru-kun, Chris-chan, Luka-chan, Suzu-chan, and Moeka-san, Ferris-chan, and Brown-san, and Nine-chan, and more!
She gazes wistfully into the distance.
In the spring when you started the lab, you seemed so lonely. But now you're fine. You don't need me to be your hostage anymore.
What do you mean? I try and ask, but before I can finish. Okay. An urgent news bulletin appears on the TV. A subtitle reads, Terrorist bomb threat suspends Yamanote Sobu Keishin Tohoku lines.
A bomb threat?
Hang on. Those lines all pass through Akiba. How is Mayushi gonna get home?
Oh yeah! I should go home.
A bomb threat? I don't know why, but I've got a bad feeling about this. Only the lines passing through Akihabara are suspended, as if that were the target. Wait, could that be it? Could the bomb be at Akihabara Station? I get a cold feeling in my stomach.
Okabe Rintaro, I need to know. You completed the time leap machine, right?
Huh? Well, yeah.
Okay. I just remembered something I gotta do. I'm going out.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute, Suzuha. Don't you go disarming any fucking bombs on me. Suzuha leaves the lab without another word.
What's wrong with her?
Suzuha's acting strange. Is it related to the bomb threat? Why did she just ask about the time leap machine? Something occurs to me. The 2 threatening emails I received. We're watching you. You know too much. Who sent them? And there's more. Words and images flash through my head. CERN. The The LHC. Jellymen. The Z program. Government secrets. The organization. Men in Black. The Committee of 300. The Time Leap Machine. What did Kurisu say?
We may have created a monster here.
Taken separately, each of these elements was insignificant. But I consider them part of a single line. They all point to one inescapable truth. We've come too far. Fear seizes my heart in an icy grip. I can feel anxiety eating at my brain. I can't breathe. Even though it's hot and humid, my body shivers. Should we run? Get out while we still can? We can't use the trains. What about the subway? Or would a taxi be better? No one's saying anything. Nobody's doing anything. What should we do? Suddenly there's a softness against my hand. I look down and see Mayuri's hand holding mine. When I look up, I see worry written on her face. It's okay. I'm just being paranoid. It's all a coincidence. Tomorrow, we'll get rid of the time leap machine. Then we can forget all this ever happened. Pretend it was just a dream. We never invented a time machine. I don't need money. As long as we can forget about today and welcome tomorrow. We'll be okay, won't we? But my anxiety doesn't go away. I look over Mayuri's head at the entrance to the lab. The door is unlocked. Anyone could just waltz right in. I hear silence wailing a few streets away. The bomb threat at Akiba in an uproar. Yet here, in our corner of Akiba, it's so quiet. Mayuri squeezes my hand with her warm, slender fingers. I squeeze back. The next thing I know, the door slams open. 5 men burst into the lab. Their movements are swift and sure, professional, and each of them is carrying a gun. They spread out just inside the door and aim their weapons at us. It all happens so fast, no one has time to scream. The men are foreigners, a mix of races, dressed casually in colourful shirts and shorts or jeans. But their arms are thick with muscle, and their eyes are hard and cold as ice. 2 of them are holding pistols, the other 3 have assault rifles. AK-47s in Akiba? Is this some kind of joke? One thing is certain, these guys aren't tourists. Hands in the air! Nobody move! The dark-skinned crew cut man barks an order. It feels like I'm dreaming. Did I fall asleep while watching an action movie? This is the first time so many people have gathered in this room. Suddenly the lab feels small. What an odd thing to be thinking about at a time like this. First to obey is Daru. Then Kurisu raises her hands. Then me. And last is Mayuri. Silence. Time seems to grind to a halt. The men say nothing, but their guns remain steady, muzzles pointed at us. Part of me is hoping that Suzuha left to come back in to kill all these fuckers, but I know that's not what's happening right now. On the TV, a comedian laughs. What is this? Are we on candid camera? Then I hear a new sound coming from outside. The sound of high heels. A woman is coming up the stairs. Are these men waiting for her? Is she their leader? Is it fucking Moeka? A squad of battle-hardened commandos led by a beautiful woman. It's like something out of a manga. Nothing seems real. Before long, the woman appears. Of course it's you, Moeka! I knew it was you when they said something about high heels. Kiryu Moeka. The part-time editor. The male demon, Shining Finger, who is never seen without her phone. Lab mem number 5. Moeka? She's their leader? The least imposing woman I've ever met? Even now, she doesn't meet my stare. Her eyes are aimed down at the floor. What's going on here? Moeka-san?
We're taking the time machine.
As always, her words are barely audible. It's ridiculous. Laughable! And yet, I can't laugh. My heart is a jackhammer in my chest. The inside of my mouth is drier than a desert. I stay still, with my hands in the air.
Makase Kurisu, Okabe Rintaro, Hashida Hitaru. The three of you will come with us.
I don't understand. Why is Moeka here? I don't know, but I have to ask. What's going on here?
I can't answer that.
This is a joke, right? Moeka shakes her head.
You don't need to know. You can't resist. Come with us.
Where? No reply. She doesn't intend to answer that either. Dangerous. These guys are dangerous. Look at their guns. Nothing good can happen if we go with them. I try to refuse, but my voice catches in my throat. I can't stop staring at their guns. Are they real? They're not going to start shooting, are they? I'm not going anywhere until you answer.
You can't refuse. You have nowhere to run. We have men stationed throughout Akihabara.
Wait. Something clicks in my head. It wasn't them. It was them. They set the bomb threat. They stopped the trains. Why? To keep us here? Just for that?
I don't want to hurt anyone. The three of you, come with us. Why?
Kurisu kept silent until now, finally opens her mouth.
Why just the three of us?
That's when I realized that Miori wasn't included in Moeka's demand. She only wants Kurisu, Daru, and me.
I'm not answering your questions. Come with us. It's your only choice.
We're not getting anywhere. Oh, Corinne? Daru's voice is shaking. I turn my head to look at him. He's deathly pale. Don't you think we should do what she says? But unless she tells me the reason. Honestly, I have no idea what to do. My heart is still fluttering in my chest. This seems more like a dream than reality. I'm not a military otaku. I've never seen a real gun. The black shine of the weapons looks somehow tacky. They lack the imposing feel you expect. I'd believe her if she told me they were fake. Mayushi suddenly speaks up.
Moeka-san! You're a lemon too, aren't you?
It's as if Mayuri asked my question for me. Moeka was a strange woman, but I welcomed her as a lab mem all the same. What is she thinking right now? In answer, Moeka pulls her gun from her belt and points it at us. I realize that Moeka isn't holding her phone. This is the first time I've ever seen her without it. Not like that matters now. Moeka's gun hand is trembling. Is this situation affecting her too? It must be. She's terrified of talking to people.
Our mission is to silence you.
Silence us?
Your refusal to come will change nothing.
Does that mean she plans to kill us? Why? What did we do? Who sent you? Who are you people?
We.
Moeka suddenly lifts her head. Perhaps the third time since I've known her, she looks straight at me. Her eyes are dark and empty.
Are from CERN.
CERN!
M4!
M4! The dark-skinned man speaks up. Is he addressing Moeka? Watch your tongue! Moeka hangs her head again. In my head, I replayed the words she just spoke. CERN. They're from CERN? Why CERN? Of course. Who else would it be?
Come with us. Now.
Moeka raises her voice in frustration.
If you continue to resist, I'll have to resort to extreme measures.
Moeka slowly raises her gun. She points the muzzle at Mayuri. My whole body instantly goes cold.
Shina Mayuri is not needed.
Stop! I lunge at Moeka, but the dark-skinned man is faster. Ugh! Something strikes my chin with a crushing force. The shock numbs my entire body. Stars explode behind my eyes. I fall to my knees, powerless to stand. Everything goes dark. What happened? Did he hit me with the butt of his rifle? Okarin! I look up. Mayuri, face streaked with tears, is reaching out to me as if begging for help. Over her shoulder, I see Moeka ready her gun. Mayuri, no! I try to yell stop, but my voice catches in my throat. Nothing comes out but a pitiful wheeze. Someone. Anyone. Please. Stop her. Stop Moeka! Moeka's lips move. She's mumbling something.
For CERN. For FB. For CERN. For FB.
Her mouth opens and closes robotically. My blood curdles. No! A sharp, dry clack splits the air. Time slows to a crawl. Moeka pulled the trigger. Blood spurts from Mayuri's forehead. It splashes across my face, wet and warm. Her delicate, frail body falls towards me. I catch her. Her body is limp, like a puppet with no strings. Her head and arms dangle lifelessly. The smell of gunpowder fills my nose. And then the smell of blood. Daru clutches his head and falls to his knees, screaming at the top of his lungs. The sound jerks me back to my senses. In my arms, Mayuri takes one short and shallow breath. And then... Mayuri? Oh. I'm not even going to bother reading this. They're doing a fantastic job for me. She's dead. Mayuri's dead. Her face is covered in blood. Her blood stains my hands. It's warm.
You three come with us. Now. No more warnings. Resist and we'll kill you too.
I hear a voice, but I can't comprehend what it's saying. What is this? What's going on here? Is this a joke? We may have created a monster here. This is a dream, right? Right? I feel nothing. My mind is blank. I shake Mayuri's shoulder. Mayuri? Wake up, Mayuri. You'll catch cold if you sleep here. If you're tired, you can stay overnight. Or I can take you home if you prefer. We'll ride the train back to Ikebukuro together like we used to before Daru joined, when it was just the two of us. Memories of her smile whirl through my head. 1,000 different smiles from 1,000 different occasions. If I look away, she'll disappear. She always disappears.
fine. You don't need me to be your hostage anymore.
No, Mayuri. I still need you. Laugh for me. Like you always used to. Greet me with your silly tutaroo. Tell me it's a lie. Tell me you're alright. Mayuri? Red flames consume my mind. An inferno of rage and hate and rage and hate and the burning desire to kill everything I see. I gently lay the motionless Mayuri on the floor. I stand up. And then I fling myself at Moeka. Okabe! Before I can take a step, someone grabs my hand from behind. You can't! Let me go! Let me go! You can't! They'll kill you! Moeka's gun is aimed at my head. The finger is already on the trigger. You're gonna kill me too!
If you resist.
Please, Okabe. Do what she says, okay? Otherwise they'll kill you too. I tear my hand from Kurisu's grip. My vision is a tunnel with Moeka on the other side. She won't get away with this. She killed Mayuri in cold blood. I'll do the same to her. No! Moeka pulls the trigger. The sound of a shot smites upon my eardrums. I feel a sharp pain on the side of my head. I nearly lose my balance again. But I'm still alive. What happened? I realize that Moeka's gun is lying at her feet. Beside it is a small stone. Someone must have thrown it and knocked her gun aside. Get down! Yes, Amame! I knew you were up to something! Ugh! Suddenly, Suzuha is there in the doorway, knocking one man down in the blink of an eye. Before anyone can react, she darts into another man's range and delivers a piercing elbow strike to his solar plexus. The man drops to his knees, gasping for air. The remaining men turn their guns on her, but she throws the incapacitated man towards them to block their aim. He then slides into the feet of a man at the rear, tripping him forward in a single smooth flowing motion, drives her knee into the man's face as he falls. Who the hell? The dark-skinned man aims his rifle, but before he can fire, Suzuha snatches the stunned attacker's gun and shoots him. Blood spurts from the man's hand. Without pausing, Suzuha leaps into the air and delivers a soaring roundhouse kick to his jaw. Enough. The next thing I know, the 5 men are down and Moeka's gun is aimed at Suzuha's face. But Suzuha doesn't back down. Her gun is trained on Moeka's neck. It's a standoff. Neither move. Silence returns to the room.
Who are you? 42.
Suzuha's reply makes no sense. She glances at me.
TV.
What is she saying?
Turned on.
What? Suddenly, Kurisu springs up and makes a break for the development room.
Don't move! That's my line!
Suddenly, I realize the meaning of Suzuha's words. The 42-inch TV downstairs is on. She wants me to use the time leap machine? I look at Mayuri's body. She's lying there quietly. Her eyes are closed. They'll never open again. One of the men Suzuha knocked out starts to moan. If they wake up, it's all over. Suzuha looks at me again. Her eyes implore me to make a move. If I use the machine, I can avert Mayuri's death. But at the same time, I could fry my brain. Fry my brain? So what? What is there to fear? Mayuri is dead, shot in cold blood. This isn't right. I won't accept it. Then change it. Change the past. You have the power. Use it! I staggered to the development room. Kurisu is about to put on the headgear. I pull it away from her. Okabe. I'm going back. No! I should be the one to... I grab Kurisu's wrist as she tries to take it back. I stare into her eyes wet with tears. I will save Mayuri. But what if it fails? I ignore her and put on the headgear. My Waker's last shot grazed the side of my head. My ears are still ringing. There's blood on my neck. It doesn't matter. I might fail. I might even die. But I have to try. It's my only chance to save Mayuri. Kurisu bites her lip and activates the X-68,000. Okabe Rintaro! One of them's moving! Get in there! Kill them! Damn kids! The crew cutman staggers into the development room. Acting purely on instinct, I grab future gadget number 4, Moad Snake, from the shelf and flick the switch. White smoke instantly fills the room, rendering it impossible to see. Kill them! Ah! Kurisu! Okabe! Are you sure? Are you sure about this? Really? Do it, Kurisu! Activate the machine! Pain flares in my right arm. Was I shot? It doesn't matter. I see blue-white lightning shining through the smoke. The discharge is starting. The light rapidly grows brighter. The floor begins to shake. The singularity is open. I crouch down, holding the headset steady with one hand. Wait for me, Mayuri. I won't die here! I'll cross through time to save you! Leap, my memories. Leap to the past. Leap! The world explodes into light.